Hi, Mercy. How you doing? Okay, so I've got your question up here from the email response. It's chapter 5, 228 to 249. Obviously, I can't demonstrate every technique between 228 and 248, but I can certainly more than glad to address what you've listed here. Now, if you have further considerations, and if you can specify exactly the technique that you're looking for, like you have here, I can go ahead and create this. So here's what we have. I'm able to use the marquee tool easily. That's cool. But then when it comes to adding the layers, saving the selections, changing color, duplicating, and moving kayaks, I struggle a bit. Okay, let me see if I can recreate this. So I've just got a Photoshop document open, and I've also got a JPEG that I'm about to open in Photoshop, and it's just this image of the banana, right? So what I'm going to do is in Photoshop, I'm going to come over here and select this image. And to do so, I'm just going to use my quick selection tool, and I'll come in here and I'll just make a really quick selection of that banana. Now with that banana selected, at this point I can save that selection, and all I have to do is go across the menu at the top of the screen, select the word save, and then select save selection. You can name your selection. I'm just going to call this 1. I'll say OK. Okay, now we can deselect that, and let me show you how to recall that selection then once it's made. So when you go into your channels panel, and to find that, you go to Window and select the word Channels. Okay, and that should open your Channels panel, which is right here. And there's my saved selection. Remember, I called it 1. To recall that selection, all you have to do is Command-click that thumbnail right there, and that'll bring your selection back. Okay, so that's saving and recalling a selection. Let's go ahead and take this selection and move it into the other composition. I'm just going to drag that, bring that, whoops, not that, this one right here. Yes, and we'll bring it and we'll just place it right there. Okay, so now with the banana placed here, we can do all sorts of different things. One of the things I think that you addressed in your writing is adding a layers. Oh, how to add a layer. So you can add a layer based on this selection. So this is sitting on this selection, right? So if I select that, let's just Command click that thumbnail. There's the selection. Now if I hit Command J, watch what happens. There's a new layer based on the selection right there. So you can actually create a new layer based on the selection. I'm going to get rid of that layer because I don't need it. I just wanted to demonstrate. And of course, you can create a new layer just by coming down here and clicking that Create New Layer icon. Okay, adding layers, saving selections, changing color, duplicating, and moving kayaks. Okay, so to duplicate this, all you have to do is make sure it's selected, okay? So I'm just going to Command click that and select it. All right, I'm going to place my cursor. I'm going to take my Move tool here, and I'm going to just come over here and place it right over, and I'm going to hold my Option key down, and I'm just going to drag it. And that's going to duplicate that layer, that image on the same layer. And now so I've showed you how to create a new selection, a new object based on the selection within the same layer. And I've shown you how to use that Command J to create a new layer with the same element. Okay, now to change colors and resize those kayaks. So to change color, what I would need to do is this. Right now I'm on this layer right here, right? So I can just feasibly come in here and create a adjustment layer. And let's just go to, hue saturation. And here's my hue saturation properties box right here. So watch what happens when I move the slider. Okay, see that is changing now, right? That selection is changing. So that's how you change color. Now I'm going to show you a little tip. Once you do change color, like see how red that is? If you come over here and change this blending mode to color, now you'll get all the luminescence values. So it's not just a pure color, it's actually the color creating luminescence, creating adhering to the tonal distribution of the banana in order to distribute the new color. To resize this, it's easy. All you have to do is, since these are on the same layer, all I have to do is go ahead and select this, and I can Command click and select that. Whoops, I just moved the mask. Let's do this. Okay, these are both on this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to command click that guy right there. Actually, let me do this. Let me go. This is going to be difficult to do because these are on a different layer, but let me just do this. Let me get rid of those techniques right now that I've just demonstrated, and then I'll show you how to, we'll just bring that banana back. Let's find our banana. Where did it go? Here it is right here. It's still selected too, so we can just come over here, drag it back in here. Now to resize and create a new banana of a new layer, basically all you have to do is come in here, make sure that layer is selected, and we'll just go ahead and command click that layer to bring up the selection. Now what I can do is hit Command J, okay, and that's going to create a new layer with the same selection, okay. Now I can resize this like they resized the kayaks in the book by coming, I've got this layer selected. I'm just going to go to Image. Sorry, I'm going to go to okay, Edit, Free Transform. And I'm just going to now, this is important. When you transform this, watch what happens. You can distort it. Actually, this is CC 2019. Yeah, if you're using an older version and you drag this, it could become distorted, okay? So you'll have to hold your Shift key down. I'm not sure what version of Photoshop you're using, but if that moves on its own, right now it's constraining the vertical and horizontal proportions. So there's no way for it to get distorted. But if you're using an older version, it doesn't do that. So you have to hold the Shift key down. At any rate, there is my my new size. I'm just going to hit Return or Enter to activate that change. Okay, now what I can do is this. I can come in here in this layer. And what I can do is I can come up here and I want to change the color of this banana only, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new adjustment layer right here. And we'll go back and we'll do that same color saturation, okay? This time, watch what happens when I bring up that slider, okay? Uh-oh, both bananas are changing. So what I need to do in this case to change the color of only one banana is create a clipping mask. And what that does is it takes the adjustment and it isolates it to the layer below it. Okay, so if I don't clip it to the layer below it, it's going to affect all the layers below it. So if I take this and I just right click and I say create clipping mask right there, see that little arrow? That means it's clipped to this layer right here. Now I can come in here and I can change the color of the individual banana. So let's say we go back to that crazy red, right? And then we just come back over here and come down to color, and there you have it. Okay, now I do believe that covers everything that you had asked for. Marquee tool, selections, yes. Adding the layers, I showed you two different ways to do that. One by creating a new layer out of a composition, out of a selection. The other making an addition to an existing layer out of the selection. I showed you how to save the selections as alpha channels. I showed you how to change the color using clipping mask and adjustment layers, and duplicating and moving the kayaks. So there you have it. Okay, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or clarifications, please let me know, and I'll be glad to address in that regard. Thank you very much.